whispers of the eternal. The wind howls across the jagged peaks of Kailash, a song older than time itself, carrying whispers of truths that linger just beyond the grasp of ordinary minds. You can almost feel it, the pulse of the mountain, steady and eternal, as if it breathes with the rhythm of the cosmos. Somewhere high above the world, where the air grows thin and the sky cracks open to reveal its boundless blue, a lone figure moves slowly, deliberately against the frost-kissed stone. His name is Adam, a wanderer with eyes that seem to hold the weight of lifetimes. His robes, tattered at the edges, flutter like prayer flags against the gale, yet he presses forward, each step a quiet vow. Why does he climb? What pulls a man to a mountain that promises nothing but hardship, yet offers everything to those who dare to listen? Stay with me, and let's unravel this mystery together, for the story of Kailash is not just Adam's, it's yours, mine, a thread woven into the fabric of existence itself. The sacred slopes of Kailash rise like a spire piercing the heavens, its snow-draped summit untouched by human ambition. For centuries, pilgrims have called it the axis of the world, the navel of the universe, where the divine and the mortal brush shoulders in silent communion. Adam, born in a village cradled by the Himalayas, grew up hearing tales of the mountain's power, how it could strip a soul bare, reveal its deepest longings, and offer a glimpse of eternity. As a boy, he'd sit cross-legged by the fire, listening to his grandmother's voice weave stories of yogis who vanished into the mountain's mists, only to return transformed, their eyes alight with a fire that spoke of truths too vast for words. Those stories sank into him, like rain into parched earth, planting a seed that would not let him rest. Have you ever felt that? A calling so faint it's almost a dream, yet so persistent it shapes your every step. Adam did, and it led him here, to this unforgiving path where each breath stings with cold and clarity. The trail to Kailash is not for the faint-hearted. It winds through valleys where wildflowers dare to bloom despite the frost, past lakes that mirror the sky's infinite expanse, and up slopes so steep they seem to mock the very idea of progress. Adam's feet, calloused and scarred, tread lightly over the rocks, guided by a rhythm only he can hear. In his heart, he carries a mantra, its syllables rolling like a river, Om Mani Padme Hum. The words are a lifeline, tethering him to something greater than the pain in his limbs or the doubt that creeps in with the evening shadows. Each step is an offering, each breath a prayer. But what is he seeking? Enlightenment, yes. But what does that word even mean when the wind cuts like a blade and the mountain looms, indifferent to human dreams? Let's walk with him a little longer, feel the crunch of gravel beneath our feet, and see if we can catch a glimpse of what drives a man to chase the intangible. As Adam climbs, the world below fades into a blur of greens and grays, a tapestry of impermanence. The Buddhist teachings he studied since childhood echo in his mind. All things arise, all things pass. Yet Kailash stands unchanging, a paradox that both comforts and unsettles him. He remembers his teacher Lama Rinchen, a wiry man with a laugh like a bell, who once said, "The mountain does not give answers, it asks questions." Adam had puzzled over those words for years, turning them over like a smooth stone in his palm. Now, with the peak looming closer, he feels the weight of that truth. What is he, Adam, but a fleeting spark against the mountain's eternity? And yet, isn't that spark enough to light the way? The thought sends a shiver through him, not of cold, but of something deeper, a recognition that the journey itself is the answer. Can you feel that spark in yourself? That quiet flicker that urges you to keep going, even when the path is unclear, the sun dips low, painting the snow in hues of gold and crimson, and Adam pauses by a small stupa, its white dome weathered but resolute. He kneels, pressing his forehead to the cool stone, and offers a silent prayer for all beings, those he loves, those he's never met, even those who have caused him pain. This is the heart of the path, he knows, compassion that does not discriminate, a love that flows without clinging. But it's not easy. Adam thinks of his sister, Lahamo, left behind in the village, her eyes filled with worry when he announced his pilgrimage. "Why risk your life for a mountain?" she'd asked, her voice trembling. He hadn't known how to answer then, but now, with Kailash's shadow stretching across the valley, he feels the stirrings of understanding. It's not about the mountain. It's about what it reveals. Stay with me, because Adam's journey is only beginning, and the mountain has more to teach us yet. Night falls and the stars emerge, sharp and countless, as if the sky has spilled its secrets. Adam finds shelter in a shallow cave, its walls etched with mantras carved by pilgrims long gone. He lights a small butter lamp, its flame dancing in the dark, and sits in meditation. His breath slows, aligning with the rhythm of the mountain, and for a moment, the boundary between self and world dissolves. He is not just Adam, not just a man on a pilgrimage. He is the wind, the stone, the starlight. This is what Kailash offers, a chance to see beyond the illusion of separateness, to touch the unity that binds all things. But such moments are fleeting, like dew on a blade of grass. As the lamp flickers, Adam's mind drifts to the challenges ahead, the treacherous pass of Dolma Law, the stories of pilgrims lost to the mountain's wrath. Doubt creeps in, but so does resolve. What would it feel like to stand at that pass, to face the unknown with nothing but faith? Let's hold that question close, because Adam's next steps will take us deeper into the heart of Kailash, where the line between seeker and sought begins to blur. The wind picks up again, carrying the faint sound of bells from a distant monastery. Adam closes his eyes, letting the sound wash over him, a reminder that he is not alone. Others have walked this path, countless feet, countless prayers, all woven into the mountain's timeless story. He thinks of Milarepa, the great yogi who meditated in these very caves, turning his pain into wisdom, his anger into song. Adam is no Milarepa, but he carries the same human heart, fragile yet fierce, capable of breaking and mending in the same breath. The thought fills him with a strange joy, a rush that makes the cold seem distant, the path less daunting. Isn't that what keeps us moving forward too? That spark of possibility, that whisper of something greater waiting just beyond the next step. Let's follow Adam a little further, up the slopes where the air grows thinner and the truths grow clearer, because Kailash is calling, and its voice is impossible to ignore. The threshold of Dolma La. The dawn breaks over Kailash with a light so pure it feels like a promise, casting long shadows across the rocky path where Adam treads. The air is sharp, each inhale a blade of ice, yet it carries a clarity that makes the world feel new, as if the mountain itself is exhaling truth. Adam's steps are slower now, not from fatigue, but from reverence, as if the ground beneath him might whisper secrets if he listens closely enough. Have you ever walked a path that felt alive, as if it knew you better than you know yourself? That's what Kailash does. It sees you, strips away the layers you've built to shield your heart, and asks you to stand naked before its vastness. Adam feels it, this silent interrogation, and though his body aches, his spirit hums with a quiet thrill. Let's stay with him, because the mountain is about to reveal something that will change him forever, and perhaps, if we're open, it might change us too. The trail climbs toward Dolma La, the high pass where pilgrims say the old self dies, and a new one is born. Adam has heard the stories, how the past tests the soul, how the winds there carry the cries of those who faltered, how the rocks are stained with the prayers of those who pressed on. His heart quickens, not with fear but with anticipation, like a child on the edge of a great discovery. The mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum, pulses in his chest, a steady drumbeat against the uncertainty ahead. As he ascends, the landscape shifts. Gone are the vibrant wildflowers of the lower slopes, replaced by a stark beauty of stone and snow. The world feels stripped to its bones, yet there's a strange warmth here, a sense that every hardship is a doorway. Can you feel that in your own life? Those moments when the struggle itself becomes a kind of light, guiding you towards something you can't yet name. Adam feels it, and it pulls him upward, step by step, toward the pass that looms like a threshold between worlds. Halfway up, he meets an old woman, her face creased like the earth itself, sitting beside a pile of mani stones etched with sacred syllables. Her eyes, bright and unyielding, meet his, and for a moment, Adam feels as if she sees not just him, but every life he's ever lived. She offers him a handful of roasted barley, her hands trembling but sure. "Eat," she says, her voice a low chant. The mountain is kind to those who share. Adam takes the offering. The grains warm against his cold fingers, and something stirs in him. Gratitude, yes, but also a recognition of the web that binds all beings. This woman, a stranger, is no stranger at all. She is part of the same fleeting dance of existence that he is. He bows and she smiles, her teeth worn but her spirit radiant. Isn't it strange how a single moment, a single act of kindness can shift the weight of a journey? Let's hold that thought, because Adam's encounter is only the beginning of what Dolma La has in store. The path grows steeper, the air thinner, and Adam's breath comes in short, ragged bursts. He pauses to rest, his back against a boulder, and gazes out at the expanse below. The valley stretches like a dream, its rivers glinting like threads of silver, its peaks piercing the clouds. For a moment, he feels small, insignificant, a speck against the mountain's grandeur. But then the teachings of Lama Rinchen surface in his mind. Small or great, all is one in the heart of awakening. Adam closes his eyes, letting the words settle, and when he opens them, the world looks different. Less a challenge to conquer, more a mirror reflecting his own boundless nature. Have you ever had that moment when the world suddenly feels like an ally rather than an obstacle? That's what Kailash does. It turns your gaze inward, makes you see the vastness within. Adam rises, his legs steadier now, and continues toward the pass, the mantra humming louder, as if the mountain itself is chanting with him. At Dolma La, the wind is a living thing, fierce and unrelenting, carrying the scent of snow and something older, indefinable. Prayer flags whip wildly, their colors a blur of red, blue, white, green, yellow, each one a wish for peace, for liberation, for all beings. Adam kneels, his forehead touching the frozen ground, and offers his own prayer, not for himself, but for Lamo, for the old woman, for every soul still caught in the cycle of suffering. The act feels like shedding a weight he didn't know he carried, and as he rises, the wind seems to soften, as if in approval. But Dolma La is not done with him. A vision comes, unbidden, a memory of a childhood fight with Lamo. Harsh words he'd long buried, now surfacing like stones in a riverbed. He sees her tear-streaked face, feels the sting of his own anger, and realizes he's carried this guilt across years and mountains. Why do we hold on to pain so tightly, as if it defines us? Adam breathes deeply, letting the wind carry the memory away, and in its place, a lightness blooms. Let's linger here, because this moment of release is what Kailash promises, and Adam is only beginning to understand its depth. The descent from Dolma La is gentler, but no less profound. Adam's steps feel lighter, as if the mountain has lifted some invisible burden. He passes a frozen lake, its surface a mirror of the sky, and pauses to gaze at his reflection. The man staring back is not the Adam who began this journey. His eyes are clearer, his face less shadowed by doubt. The teachings speak of impermanence, of the self as a fleeting illusion, but here, in this moment, Adam feels both ephemeral and eternal, a paradox that makes his heart sing. He thinks of Milarepa, who sang of liberation in these very mountains, his words dancing like flames. Adam has no songs yet, but he feels the stirrings of one, a melody born of struggle and surrender. Can you hear it, that quiet music within you, waiting to be sung? It's there, if you listen, and Kailash is teaching Adam to listen more deeply than ever before. As twilight falls, Adam finds a small ledge to rest, the stars beginning to pierce the indigo sky. He wraps his robe tighter, the cold a reminder of his fragile human form. Yet his spirit feels boundless, as if it could stretch to touch the stars themselves. The mountain has not given him answers, but it has given him questions. Questions that feel like gifts, each one a key to unlocking something within. What is the self, if it can dissolve in a moment of compassion? What is suffering, if it leads to such clarity? Adam doesn't know, not yet, but he feels the pull of the path ahead, the promise of the Kora's completion, the final circumambulation of Kailash. Let's not leave him yet, because the mountain is still speaking, and its voice is growing louder, more urgent, drawing us toward a truth that waits just beyond the horizon, the circle complete. The stars above Kailash burn brighter now, as if the mountain has drawn the heavens closer, their light a silent hymn to the eternal. Adam moves through the pre-dawn chill, his breath a faint mist, his steps steady despite the ache that has settled into his bones. The Kora, the sacred circumambulation of the mountain, is nearly complete, yet each moment feels like a beginning, as if Kailash is reshaping him with every turn of the path. Have you ever felt time fold in on itself, where the end of a journey feels like the start of something vast? That's what Adam senses now. A quiet exhilaration that makes his heart race, not from effort, but from the nearness of something sacred. Let's walk with him to the end, because the mountain's final whispers are waiting, and they might just speak to us too. The trail loops downward now, curling around Kailash like a thread around a spindle, weaving Adam's steps into the tapestry of countless pilgrims before him. The rocks beneath his feet are worn smooth, polished by faith, by hope, by the stubborn human urge to seek what lies beyond the visible. He passes a cluster of prayer flags, their colors faded but defiant, fluttering like the wings of some ancient spirit. Each flag carries a prayer, a wish for liberation, and Adam adds his own. A silent offering for Lamo, for the old woman at Dolma La, for every heart still searching. The act feels like a pebble dropped in a still lake, its ripples spreading far beyond what he can see. Isn't that the beauty of compassion? A single gesture, so small, yet it touches the infinite. Adam feels this truth in his chest, a warmth that defies the cold, urging him forward as the mountain silhouette shifts against the dawn. As he rounds a bend, the valley opens below, a breathtaking expanse of earth and sky that makes Adam pause, his breath catching. The first rays of sunlight kiss the snow on Kailash's peak, turning it into a crown of fire. For a moment, he feels as if the mountain is watching him, not with judgment, but with a quiet knowing, as if it has seen every step of his life, every doubt, every joy, every misstep, and loves him still. Lama Rinpoche's words echo again. The mountain asks questions. But now Adam understands that the questions are not meant to be answered. They are meant to be lived. What is awakening, if not this moment, this fleeting collision of light and stone and human heart? The thought sends a thrill through him, a spark that makes the world feel alive, vibrant, as if every blade of grass is chanting the same mantra that hums in his veins. Can you feel it too, that pulse of connection that makes you part of something greater? The final stretch of the Kora is gentle, a descent toward the starting point where Adam first set foot on this sacred path. Yet it feels different now, as if the mountain has rearranged the world while he wasn't looking. He passes a group of pilgrims, their faces radiant with exhaustion and grace, and they exchange nods, a silent acknowledgement of the journey they share. One of them, a young boy with eyes like polished amber, offers Adam a sip of water from a battered flask. The gesture is simple, but it lands like a revelation, reminding Adam of the old woman's barley, of the interconnectedness that binds all beings. He drinks, the water cool and sweet, and thanks the boy with a bow. Have you ever noticed how the smallest acts, a smile, a shared moment, can carry the weight of eternity? Adam feels this now, and it makes the final steps lighter, as if the mountain itself is carrying him. As he nears the end of the Kora, Adam stops at a small shrine, its stones stacked by hands long gone. He kneels, pressing his palms to the earth, and lets his mind settle into stillness. Images flood in: Lamo's worried face, the old woman's bright eyes, the wind at Dolma La carrying away his guilt. He sees his own life, not as a straight line but as a circle, each moment looping back to the present, each choice a thread in the tapestry of awakening. The teachings of impermanence, once just words, now pulse with life. Nothing lasts, yet nothing is lost. Adam's heart aches with the beauty of it, a sweet pain that feels like love. He rises, his body weary but his spirit alight, and takes the final steps of the Kora, the mountain's presence a steady hum behind him. What would it be like to stand at the end of your own journey, to look back and see not just the path but the truth it revealed? Let's find out, because Adam is almost there. The Kora ends where it began, at a simple stone marker etched with mantras, its edges softened by time. Adam stands before it, his hands clasped, his breath slow and even. The mountain looms above, silent yet eloquent, its presence a reminder that some truths cannot be spoken, only felt. He thinks of Milarepa, whose songs of liberation still echo in these valleys, and wonders if he too could find a song within. Not yet, perhaps, but the seed is there, planted by Kailash, watered by every step, every prayer, every moment of surrender. Adam smiles, a small, unguarded smile, and feels the mountain smile back. Not in words, but in the way the wind softens, the way the light shifts, the way his heart feels full yet weightless. Isn't that what we all seek in our own way? A moment when the world and the self dissolve into one, when we are both the seeker and the sought. As Adam turns to leave, the sun fully rises, bathing Kailash in a golden glow that feels like a blessing. He knows he will return to his village, to Lahamo, to the life he left behind. But he will not be the same. The mountain has changed him, not by giving him answers, but by teaching him to live the questions, to embrace the impermanence of all things, to love without clinging. He takes a final glance at Kailash, its peak piercing the sky, and feels a quiet vow take root. To carry this clarity, this compassion, into every step of the life ahead. The path down the mountain is just another beginning, and as Adam walks, the wind carries the faint sound of bells, a melody that seems to say, keep going, keep seeking, keep loving. And so he does, and so can we. because Kailash's call is not just for Adam, it's for anyone who dares to listen.